Hi again, Shannon. So here we are on level 7 in front of a louver on the tower. Jim, Terry, and I apologize, I can never remember Terry's assistant's name. Shannon, help me again. And you can't remember it either. I am anyway, here we are on 7. We have lifted the bell inside here, okay, finally, okay? Because we have to rebuild the floor in here again and make this an actual waterproof floor. This was the problem where your interior of the church here was seeing all that water coming through down into the choir loft and beyond, okay? And actually a ceiling has collapsed at that level. It's because this level was leaking so bad. The membranes that had been installed, and I apologize to everybody that we don't have it on camera, how poorly done they were inside this, and that allowed the water to get through. Every church project I do, the bell level is the last secure point to stop water from coming down through the spire, coming down through the tower, and getting us inside the church. You might as well say it's just like a roof inside the bell level. And if it's built like a roof that has got good protectiveness that keeps water from shedding on down through the building, that's wonderful. And it lasts a long time, any type of roofing material that I put inside a bell level. And here again, as with St. Mary's in Camelford, when we actually took the bell right out of the tower, we're not going to do that here. This is a much smaller bell than St. Mary's in Camelford. Probably weighs about 2,500 pounds. St. Mary's in Camelford, folks, it was 6,000 pounds. That's a big bell. We're going to put a 2-layer membrane system on here. And I talk about this all the time. I do not use a rubber membrane. Rubber membranes are inferior compared to the product that we've been using for probably 12 years in business now. It's a double membrane. It is actually an oil-filled fiberglass membrane with 2 layers. A bottom layer, which you lay in one direction, and a top layer you lay over the other direction. And you end up with a product about 5/8 of an inch thick by the time you get done. And the wonderful thing about this product is if it gets a cut in it, a nail driven through it, any type of hole in it that isn't any bigger than basically your fist or something, it will reseal itself again, and within a very short time frame, because it is very fluid, this membrane. The problem is, guys, it's expensive. It's 3 times the cost of a rubber membrane, and it's more time consuming to install, but an absolute superior product over that. Even more superior than putting any type of metal in here even, okay, which would have to have welded seams or soldered seams, which with a building moving, an old building like this, can fracture those seams where they've been soldered or welded. So we really try hard. I want to just walk around here, Shannon, and show everybody the amount of garbage on level 7 that's just come out of this area alone, just to this point. So what you see here in front of you, Shannon, is the original flooring that was in place for the bell level. Okay, and a lot of times this will be just a lead product. This time it's a galvanized product, okay? And I'm not a metal expert, so I can't tell you exactly what the material's made of. You can see how badly deteriorated the original floor had gotten. It's literally just rotted away. And if I guess I was, as Jim Lynch was telling us earlier, over 140 years old, I'd have rotted away by now too. So its time had come quite a while ago. And then unfortunately on top of it, we'd had this rubber membrane product placed. Now I'm going to try and see if I can find a piece of it here for you folks. There's a piece of it right there, folks. And you can see it was not the best product to put on. Very thin, and here we go again. Drive a nail through it, cut it or anything, you can't, it will not re-fasten itself on its own back together. It won't adhere again to itself. The product we're using will re-adhere to itself without a problem even. So we're going to get rid of all these sorts of funny things that shouldn't have been used. Let's just wander around the corner here, Shannon. We're seeing just more and more garbage that's come out of this bell level. We have, when we go inside, I'll point some of the out, we have rotted timbers that were severely, they weren't even holding up the spire anymore on the east side of the tower. They were that severely rotted away. And so we did some temporary measures to support the spire. Notice the size of our ancestors' great big square nails. Good sized nails, eh folks? But notice how easily I'm removing them from the wood. Their time had come, so had the woods. So, there we go. Let's go on around the corner a little bit more here. Terry and I have been guesstimating. In the 1950s, they realized there was an issue at the bell floor level. It wasn't strong enough anymore. And at that time they came in, and probably just some of the local guys from the church, and they tried to stiffen up the floor so it didn't move around some. Well, we've removed a lot of what they put in because we're finding more that it's just in the way to try and actually do this project and do it right, that we don't have to worry about movements for the bell floor. We're seeing really seriously rotted, large beams. This approximately 10 by 10 beam is actually one of the main beams that sits underneath the upright supports that support the spire. And you can see, guys, it's just an absolute terrible condition, eh? Why? It's because unfortunately our spire has leaked ever since this lead copper covering was put on the spire. And we'll talk about it when we get to that level. But that was allowing so much water to filter down through because the seaming of it was not done correctly. The broach leaked, and when the broach leaked, the water from the broach came down through on the inside of our brick and basically rotted out these large areas of wood. We'll just peek around the corner here. It's just a continuous stream of garbage that's just coming out of this one level. Very unfortunate. While it's right in front of me too, I want to point out some more of this terrible repointing that's been done. And actually I had the unfortunateness of seeing this being done only 4 years ago, because I happened to drive by on Easter weekend, and here there was a fellow with a skyjack working here, so I came in just to see what he was doing, and he was doing this repointing at the time. And it is so badly overpointed. And here we go again. Pure Portland cement, and not a nice limestone or lime mortar combination that's nice and soft, that won't damage our bricks. Breeze sheds water back and forth through easily. This stuff, and it's the quality of work that I think most of us are kind of upset at when we see it. It's just terrible quality. Everywhere you look at where it was done, the quality of the work is just pathetic, to be quite honest. Just pathetic. So let's go on in and have a look inside at what the guys are looking at inside of the building.